Zoom zoom!
Hiya. Okay, the engine is in. Couple of tragedies. I did scratch this wing right here. A big scratch. Good, the engine kind of kilted over on its side. It wasn't good. Anyway, it's in. There was a massive oil leak at one point. I think it was just oil coming out the gearbox, I hope. Because I had it tipped at such an angle. I hope it was that. The other tragic casualty was my throttle linkage. This has been my throttle linkage for years, but what I didn't realise is it's just a little bit of threaded rod. I don't know if that's original or not, but anyway, it broke off. At part of the shenanigans, that got caught up, right, and it's supposed to be in here on my carburetor, right, and then connected to my throttle pedal. This rod here, you can see that, you can hear it. I'm going to have to weld that. My welding skills are non-existent. I've got the battery on charge just now on my little trickle charger. Nothing else seems to be working right now. I'm just not having a good time of it right now. Let's see how much oil is left in this. This is still showing full. That's why I'm thinking the oil that we saw coming out of this came out of the gearbox, right? I just hope it didn't go all over the clutch. That's a whole other problem. The other casualty was every single ignition wire got pulled off. I can remake those connections. They weren't great connections to start with. They weren't the originals, they were just little electrical tabs. So I have to remake those connections. Hopefully I can get the, you know, the 1342 sequence correct. We know what one is one, you know what I mean? I don't know if I marked them all appropriately. Right, now I put this in. I had two captive bolts at the front, which probably got pretty beat up there. I did not put the rubbers in this, right? So it's sitting on the chassis. There has to be a little rubber insert around the nut and bolt, and another rubber insert that it sits on. I ordered a new set of those. They're over in Scotland. That wouldn't stop me starting it and giving it a trial run, you know what I mean? But the very first thing we have to do before we do anything else, even though it's showing full there on the oil, we know, well, we did have a consistent oil drip out of that sump, so I need to get underneath there, jack the car up again, crawl underneath there and have a look at that sump. So I'm going to switch it off just now. I'm going to just jack this up. Though the other thing we need to remember is the speedo cable is not connected yet, right? That was the speedo cable that I destroyed, remember? Taking it out because I forgot to take that off. But I've got another speedo cable, thank goodness, from the car from Queens. We have another speedo cable. So we're going to give that a go and install that also. But right now, let's get busy with that sump bolt. I'll try and get you under there if possible. If, you know, we can get under there comfortably and see what's going on with that sump bolt that's stripped. Remember, we couldn't get a tight connection on that sump bolt. So more to come in just a second. Okay, so here's the thing. I took the stripped, I thought it was the crankcase was stripped at the sump. I took that bolt out. The bolt itself looked as if it was kind of stripped, right? It was a more modern BSF coarse thread, it looked like, actually. Let me just... Right, so I took that out. Then I looked for a similar Whitworth bolt. Threads were good, same length. Put it in carefully by hand. It seemed to catch. Tightened it up, snugged it up, snugged it up. That's all I did. Hey, it snugged up. And there's no drips of oil coming out of that sump. The level is still on, right on the full mark on the dipstick. I'm taking it, man. I'm taking it as a win. I think we're ready to hook up. Honestly do. So let's get to it. I'm going to bring you in here, and we're going to try and go through this methodically. So what do we need? We need water, a radiator, of course, and fuel. The fuel pipe to the fuel pump, and then from the fuel pump up to our carb. We had that working before. We have to address the ignition wires, wire up the coil, wire up our dynamo, although that's not crucial. Put in our coolant pipes, our fan, our radiator, our fan belt, speedo, and the electrics themselves. I'm not sure of the connections on this. It's field and something else on the generator, right? I think I put that in one of the videos, what came from what. I know the two wires anyway. Oh yeah, and the exhaust, of course, right? Exhaust manifold, which I think come off, must have come off another car, because I had a piece of the old exhaust on there that I had to take off. That was awkward. So I think we're ready to just get going, guys. So what first? Easy peasy, the electric. Well, let's hope it's easy peasy. I'd like to be able to get a bit more light on the subject, maybe. Good like this one. Okay, so let's see what damage we've done here with our ignition wires. That is to our coil, of course, and we can do that like that, I think, quite easily. Just straight into our coil. Right. That has got 3 bits of tape on it. Can we assume 3 bits of tape or 1 bit of tape? I don't know. This is no bits of tape. That's always helpful. This is 1 bit of tape. Number 1. If we can find number 1, we can pretty much deduce the rest, right? 1, 3. So maybe that is 3 bits of tape that's on that. 1, 3, 4. That would be our 4. Seems just about right for the length of the cable, right? 1, 3, 4, and then 2 to 2, 2, and we have 2 bits of tape on that one. Right, so we just have to make those connections again for little electrical doodly whatsits. This one seems to be okay, so let's just put that number 1 plug. I think they're snugged down because we had this running before, right? Remember? So let's do that. The one with 2 bits of tape would be this one, and that's pretty much toast. So get rid of that. I'll take this little fillet off. Can we reuse, or is it dead? It's dead. So we need another one of these. I'm going to switch it off until I find one. Well, that's the usual snafu. I had a whole box of those electrical connections, but I can't find them. Can we simply reuse the ones we had? Not with that shrink. Should be. I want to put the electrical fitting on. This is the original electrical fitting, so it's already been squidged. And I'm going to try and shove it in here and squidge it some more. it will not fit in there. They're not meant to be reused, these things, you know. It's use it once and dump it. They're just not good things. Oh man. This is not the best, my friends. I'm going to try and shrink that. Okay, I've got my heat gun. Let's just hope that's it done. You have to be careful, it gets really hot. The shrink tubing kind of hides a multitude of sins with these little fittings, because the fittings are crap, let's face it, they're absolute crap. But if you can get a bit of shrink tubing on it, they'll last a wee while. What about this one? This one's gone as well. Okay, so pull that off. Let's just cooperate with Christopher, thank you. And let's put a third bit of tape on that. Now let's just check, shall we? Remember the firing order 1, 3, 4, 2, right? So 1 is here. 1. 3 here. 4 here. 2 here. Okay? Okay. We'll put one more bit of tape on number 3. Right, so 1 bit of tape, 2 bits of tape, 3 bits of tape. You don't need a 4th one, because the one without tape is number 4. Okay? Okay. Okay. We need our little cable from the Coca-Cola coil to, we don't need that in there. We need our little feed to our distributor. Feed to the distributor. We have orange and an orange. Awesome. Always good. I have 2 of the same colour. And coming out of our own little ready-made wiring loom, we have our dynamo wires there, and we have our, what does this say? It says something. It was supposed to say coil. Okay. O-U-T. O-U-T. Any ideas? Did we talk about that at the time? Hey, this is orange. That's orange. And this one, I think, goes down to where our main connection goes onto the starter, doesn't it? I believe that's where the other orange goes. There was ignition, right? Because it's positive earth, that means it's negative, what do you call it? Goes there. Blimey. I'm pretty sure this goes to our distributor. Because it's right here, right? It's right at the position. I don't know why I didn't put a bit of shrink wrap on that. Shrink tubing. Should have put a bit of shrink tubing on that. Let's just do that just now, huh? Since that electrical tape that's holding it on is falling to bits. I can't remember what the other coil was. Shit. The other wire on the coil. One goes to the distributor. Where does the other one go? To a feed, right? It's, yeah, it comes to, it gets a power feed. It's got to get a power feed. It's got to. Orange goes to one of these contraptions here. Yeah, to our ignition switch, of course. Hello? Yeah. Okay, so let's just pretend we figured that out. Let's just pretend we figured it out, right? Let's see if there's another bit of, yeah there is. Can it fit over there? Probably not. Just some light would be nice. Somewhere. If we could ever figure that out properly. Little tiny washers and fittings and things, not made for my big clumsy mitts. I mean, I don't have big clumsy mitts, I actually have quite small hands, but you know, in comparison to these little tiny things, they're massive mitts. Tight enough. Okay, so we're not going to bother about anything else on the coil. That's us got our live connection to here, which means when we turn our ignition switch on, we should be able to get a spark. Now, so did we mark these? This is the field and the other. Field and other thing to the dynamo. These are bare wires in here. I don't think they're supposed to be bare wires. Personally, blimey. Right, that's into that one there. And this one's into that one there. Neither of them are insulated. That could be a potential problem here, chaps. I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good. So should we get a little tiny bit of shrink tubing and just try and retrospectively insulate? One of them doesn't matter, right, because it's ground. The other one does friggin' matter because it'll blow up the car. I'm exaggerating, you know what I mean. We'll see if we can be skinny shrink tubing. We have some very skinny shrink tubing, which is awesome actually. So there's no grub screws in here, but hopefully we can find grub screws to fit. And these, I'm pretty sure, are the 2 wires that come out. Okay, this says L. Aha. No, it doesn't. It says no. D W D Dynamo, D-Y-N, Dynamo. Well, I know it's a dynamo, but which one goes where? Just put the green to the green, the yellow to the yellow, and damn the consequences there, chaps. I mean, we'll soon know when the thing, you know, gives up the ghost, you know. See, that doesn't want to fit in there, so just make believe it's the other way around. It's yeah. Need little grub screws down in, because that ain't going to sit in there. I can tell you that right now. Let's well, if you're going to be cheeky, you may as well be cheeky. I just went to the other dynamo that I have installed the grub screws in it, so the one that doesn't want to sit there, let's do that one first. There was only one real grub screw in it. Now we've got to check this, right, so we will, as soon as we get a chance. This is not a grub screw, obviously, but it was in another dynamo, so maybe it's the right threads. Didn't look as if it was the right threads, but I bet it's the right threads. Certainly snugging down. To see him. It's snugging. That's kind of pulling out again. Look, let's call that done just now. So, distributor, dynamo. These might have to be reversed. Don't know exactly how important that is. Got a distributor, got our coil. Fuel next, I think would be best. Right, so if we're doing this with the light, which seems to be a good idea. Fuel now, so this is going to be awkward, right, because, I don't know, because we had a rubber pipe in here already. It's, we might need some new rubber pipe, huh? This is looking old and kind of, well, it's not bad, but I mean, it's not flexible. Definitely not flexible. I think we had this coil round through a filter, right? That's what we did. And we had a little clip on that, Jubilee clip, and then a flexible pipe out here this part. Come on, baby. And this little baby, not under the electrical cables, darling. Over them. Right down to here. And we had a filter somewhere in there. Oh yeah, sorry, I just kicked you again, didn't I? Sorry about that. Here's the little diddly whips. And that was where the like so, and then down into our feed in there. I think it was on the feed side. I cannot bloody remember, lads. Kind of awkward to get to. I've got a feeling it was more like on this side, wasn't it? Not enough room on this side with that pipe. I really don't want to switch out those fuel pumps again, because that fuel pump we got working nice with the new and the doodly watts and the switched coils. It's, you know what I mean? So, and I know Derek says don't use the glass filters, but I'll tell you, this has been spot on for me. It hasn't caused the slightest bit of trouble, this glass filter. I mean, that's a pretty good nick. A couple of wee feathery dandelion bits, you know. It's not actually glass, it's plastic. Plastic. Right, now, so that went back like that. That went in like that. Didn't it? Didn't it, darling? Screws in, I think. Methinks. Did it screw? I think it did. Oh, there's my alarm going off. Tell me the fun is over for tonight. We're going to see Janine Garofalo in Red Bank, so that's fun. Stop. Did I tighten this up sufficiently? Oh, don't bloody know. Tight-ish. Right, so let's say that goes on somehow like that, and then that goes on like that. Let's just place it in place, and then we'll try and sniggly wiggle it some other time. These are different fittings now because they're different fuel pump, right? Okay, we'll need to finagle that. I think I'll get some 5/16 and 3/8 fuel pipe, and we'll come back to this, right? So I like flexible pipe. This is, I'm not saying it's perished, but it's not flexible. And you know, the tragedy is that this broke, so maybe even before we go any further, we'll try and, I mean, that's going to be a bitch, isn't it, to try and weld that. I don't know how I'm going to do that, to be truthful. Be easier if we took that whole thing off, wouldn't it? This little bit I'm talking about, you know, my fuel linkage broke and I was putting the engine back in. There is no mechanical way of fixing that. Well, there might be. It doesn't take a lot of punishment, does it? Just listening to it fitting, so I can maybe put it on the ball here and then tighten it down so I know it's you know, if I do weld it, you know it's in the right position. Catch my drift? So you won't be able to see this. Okay, we're going again. I brought you down a little bit just so you could maybe see this. The buckle here. Right, so, oh, I see. It's actually a wee hole through there, so I can weld on onto this a bit of threaded rod and then put it through the hole. Thank God. Okay, good. We solved that problem. Okay, let's take that back off again. Awesome. Actually, awesome. So we just need to put a bit of threaded rod on this, so it doesn't need to be welded in position. Catch my drift? Tighten that back down again, just so it doesn't fall out, the wee crop screw thing. Okay, super. Right, I'm signing off. I need to go to Jean Garofalo concert. I've been trying a few different sizes of nuts and bolts. This one fits through a little hole, see? So I'm going to try and weld that onto that little stripped rod, right? So here's my thought process. That little nut and bolt fits through the hole on the throttle linkage. I'm going to get my little MIG welder and try and put a little snot of weld on there. This is magnetic, this little holder here, so hopefully it'll hold it in place. Put a little snot of weld on there and then turn it over and put a snot of weld on the other side. I'll try, and you guys can watch and have a good laugh. I'm terrible at welding. Started, I remembered everything goes better with the welding if you really clean off what it is you're welding. So let's just try and do that real quick. Should be bright and shiny. I don't know if I'll get it to that stage, but it's just this little copper brush that I have, you know. Do I have a steel brush? Some cables don't give me a hassle. What do you think? Clean enough? I mean, I've welded completely rusty metal before, but it's not easy. This is quite clean now. The assumption is that this bolt here is steel and it's just coated with something to make it shiny like that, because as you well know, steel ain't shiny like that. Let's see what it actually says on the package. Nuts and washers, bright zinc plated finish. Zinc plated, I don't know if I'll be able to weld through that or not. So, see, there's not much of a gap between there, so hopefully that'll, even if I get a snot of weld on it this side, I can get a snot of weld on it the other side as well. Good, good, good. You know, we need to get an earth here, so no matter what it takes, we need to get that to work. Right. Welding helmet. Welding helmet. There's a story about this welding helmet as well. It stopped working. You know, it's auto darkening. So I had to take it apart and put in a new battery. It's you're supposed to throw it away when the battery runs out. But YouTube showed me how to do it, so. Anyway, hopefully that still works. Let's plug in. This might blow the breaker on this little extension cord I've got here. Right. I'm always a little bit nervous going into the welding, you know, because I really have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Switch on. And I'm just leaving all the settings the way it is because the last few things I've welded, the settings have been okie dokie. Doesn't mean it'll be right for this piece of kit. Let's just spark it. I'm assuming you guys can see okay here. You don't want to be too close because it's going to be welding, right? Sure we got anything on that, guys. Let's see. Be rather hot. Rather hot, chaps. Okay. I think it's just a wee snot crap on there. I don't think I actually stuck to anything. Personally. I think right now we're pissing in the in, chaps. And of course I should be having my gloves on. There's nothing penetrating that bolt, but it's enough to stick it on there just now. I'll try and get a wee bit in here, and see if that goes any better. Let's turn it around that way. Okay. Yeah, gloves. Yeah, I could feel the snots of weld getting to me there. You end up with freckles of weld everywhere, you know. No, not a good thing, chaps. Okay, let's see if we can get in this little gap here. That looked better, didn't it? Just because I was holding it a bit firmer, I think. Don't know if you can see anything. It just felt as if it was a wee bit more substantial, that particular one, you know. The other one was like a little bit of glue to hold it in place, you know. Oops, I'm melting the plastic on my workbench. That did put a bit of heat in there, I can feel it through my gloves. You might find it's just burning through now, the zinc plating, you know. Who knows? I'm going to try and put a bit on the back end here as well. And it doesn't need to be pretty, you know what I mean? It just needs to be functional. Catch my drift? Let's try and put it on this side of it now, you know what I mean? That felt fairly substantial as well. Did it look substantial to you guys? I can't see very well with this mask. It feels pretty solid, guys. This is an unshielded MIG welder, right? So the resin is in the wire. I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on that, guys, and I can't, oh, hot. I can't get it to move. I think we're going to call that done. Okay, so let me switch everything off, let that cool down. My mask somewhere safe. If any of you are interested, the wire feed is at 2. It's on minimum. Okay. Let's tell you, it's a Harbor Freight special, Chicago Electric welding. It cost like $100 or something. Wasn't expensive, that welder. If I'd got a slightly more expensive, you could add argon or CO2 shielding to it. This one doesn't allow that. So if I ever get into it a bit more, I might get a better one and get a shielded MIG. The shielded gives you a much cleaner weld, right? So you don't have the you don't have the slag, you know. Should I switch you guys off and we'll go try it? Wow, that's hot. No, we shan't do that right now, guys. We'll switch you off and reorient you though. Okay, I'll fit that accelerator linkage later, not right now. I'm going to take the fan connection, etc. off of my car and fit it there. That should be fine. Now, assuming you guys can see all this, it goes in there with a button bolt and a split pin. I've got a feeling it's not a nut and bolt. It's actually a, I can't get it out, man. I thought it would just fall out. The nut was just loose, you know. I think it's a cotter actually. So let me just tap that out there with my little rubber headed mallet. Oh. I'll just use the exact same fitting and then put a split pin in. We should be good to go, I think. Yeah, it's a tapered whatchamacallit. It's one of these with a indent, right? So how does that work again now? So that doesn't just slide in there, that has to go in first. Right. Or maybe not. I think actually I have made a little mistake here, because I repaired this, remember, and it has some what's it's in there, the JB weld. Is it going to break if I just tap it in? I mean, I had to tap it out of the other one. Doesn't look right, does it? Doesn't look right, my darlings. Why can't I just put a nut and bolt in there? Because it ain't going to hold it very firmly, is it? Yeah, but the last thing we want to do is ruin that repair that I did there. How much weld is in there? A little bit, man. I was a little bit too enthusiastic with the JB weld. Let's just tap that back out there again, if you don't mind. Deary meary. Nothing's ever easy, is it? I was trying to do that gently so it didn't drop in the ground. There you go. My punishment. Yeah, it's just JB weld that's on it. There's no like harm to it, but I don't know how good that repair is to that aluminum, you know, that alloy, whatever it is. So let's not get too enthusiastic about that. We need our other light. That one has just given up on us. So see, it's, you know, the hole goes all the way through, but it's not of a sufficient diameter to let that in there. That's going to be way over the top. This is like a freaking searchlight, this thing. FYI. There's plenty of light though. I need a little drill bit that's just about the right diameter there, don't I? That's the secret. And then just drill through it. I can try it. We could, you know, just waller that about, as Derek would say. I don't think it would have the desired effect of just, you know, widening out that JB weld that I've been a bit too prolific about. This one, you don't want to go crazy. Too wide, darling, too wide. Only marginally too wide, to be, truth be told it. However, I decided on this one, remember? Just want clean it enough to get that through. It's just that all I'm trying to do is take the GB weld off, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be too clever here. Let's just take this out just now. Put that back in a minute. So we know it's not impacting nothing. Bested. Put you up there then if you're not going to behave. It should go through now, right? Oh, there was a little bit of something stuck in there. More GB weld. Okay, so I hope I haven't buggered that up in any way. I don't know how far. I think we need to push that in pretty far, actually. Come on, baby. It was all the way in on the other one, so yeah, it was a whole snot of JB weld in there. That was our problemo, chaps. I didn't damage those things. No, I think I did. I didn't think I damaged anything. But remember, this was crap. Like that. Before I do any kind of tapping back and forth here, make sure this is not going to bugger up the threads in this thing. You know, if we tap it with a hammer, it doesn't take much. Remember, things like this are 80 years old, you know. The little quarter pin here is freaking 80 years old, so. Somebody's having fun. Having their caca. Let's give that a wee tap, see if that can loosen off a bit. Oops. Don't feel good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, little thing. That's what it needed though. Now it's in. Right, we can grease it and everything. We get a little split pin in there. Let's put a little split pin in. And little split pins. What will fit in there nicely. Now my usual MO with the split pins is to drop them all over the floor. I shall endeavour not to do that this time. need to just bend that a little bit. Is that too small? No, it's not. Okay, it's good enough, right? Fan belt. Old and new. Put the new one on. Probably need our starting handle. I did try and put my starting handle on this just a moment earlier and it didn't fit. That there is a different size snout, you might see that. Oh no, because it's not going over here. I have the little quarter pin in here. Another quarter pin. Okie dokie. Take that out just now. Put that back in there. It's still. I think those indicators. It's a different length of snout, isn't it? The reason I want to turn this over is because that's the way you would put that fan belt on. Right, remember that's from the starting handle, right? This here, from the starting handle. What happened there? How can that be different? That starting handle worked perfectly on that, didn't it? Am I losing it? Look at that. My starting handle is quite different from that one. Look, see. This is straight, off an earlier car probably, and mine's is angled. Yeah, see, mine comes right outside there. Anyway, let's just tap mine on for a minute. Nope, different diameter. Is it really a different diameter? I have never been aware of that before. Yeah, that ain't gonna turn nothing, Mark. That ain't gonna turn nothing. This one would, but only if we tighten it on the quarter, which means we're way in there, man. Way in there, like that. And that is going to hit those indicators and take my fingers off for sure. And let's try something else. For a minute. The ubiquitous box spanners. I'm so glad I bought these things. The ubiquitous box spanners. Still can't get it to turn. We could turn the engine. How else? No. Nowhere else. Take that off of there. Come back with a different idea, Christopher, because that ain't gonna work. Can we just get this on without doing all that stuff? You can't turn the engine over to that pulley, that'll ruin it. about the old fan belt being much looser, loosey-goosey. We could always fit the fan belt later. Not mine. Not mine, darling. Not mine. Go down in there, please. Perfect. Perfect, actually. Oh yeah, of course, it's on an eccentric. Stupid ass. All you have to do is... Anyway, it's the old one that's going on. You do not need to turn the engine over. To put the fan belt on, you just need to move it on the eccentric, see? Like that. And then you tighten it up. Stupid. Oh my god. One does wonder sometimes, old chaps. This size? Oh my god, it's the right size. Can you believe it? It doesn't need to be ultra tight. In fact, to even say that, it shouldn't be tight. Believe. Tight-ish. Catch my drift. Tight-ish. The fan belt, I mean, this nut and bolt should probably be fairly tight. That's not tight at all, that fan belt, but... Okay. We're getting close, chaps. The speedo's not connected up yet. The clutch is in the wrong position because I forgot to put it back to what the normal clutch position would be. But we'll get the electrics, we'll get fuel. I haven't tested the fuel, but fuel. No exhaust yet. I should just connect that exhaust up part. Put the radiator in, coolant tubes. The coolant tubes bottom is in here to the radiator, top is to the top of the radiator. So let's look at engine mounts first, then exhaust, right? Little teeny tiny butts and notes for the exhaust. And maybe put this linkage in if it's pulled back. I'm excited to find out if this linkage is going to work. I rather hope it will. There's my little nuts and bolts. This is my little grub screw here. There's a little spring in there. Don't even know. There's a spring. There's a little spring inside. And let's just listen this just a little bit more. And we'll put that in first, I think. Let's just tighten that down. On our little. Should we put a little bit of thread locker on there? In the assumption that it's all going to work. Thread locker. And a few things have gone our way today, but it remains to be seen if this would actually continue to go our way. You never know, it might. It might. So let's say we're pressing our accelerator. Pulling our choke. Pulling our choke. Pressing our accelerator. Well, I mean, it looks to me as if it'll work. Okay, the engine mounting bolts and the rubbers thereof. I ordered a new set of rubbers. They're in the UK though. I did order a set of Chevy mounting rubbers. I think these might be the Chevy ones I ordered. 4. Well, I have 5. Which I think would fit over those bolts. Well, if they'll fit in the hole, exactly. Fit in the hole. Probably wouldn't take much to get them to fit in the hole though. And certainly would fit underneath, right, is what I was thinking. So there's 5 of them. We've got these old things that are certainly not Austin 7s, but came off one of the other engines, which ostensibly I could, you know, put that underneath the 2 back ones. There might even be another one of those big ones kicking around. You can see there's all kinds of bastardized things here. That's the one I was showing you. That's another one off one of the other engines. Something to do with an Austin 7, something to do with an Austin 7. It'd be better to just wait to get the new ones, wouldn't it? And then I'll play with those. There's another one that came off of this engine. I mean, it would absorb impact, sans doute, but not much more than that. Should we just leave that until we come back, and let's just see if we can get it to move under its own juice, the way it is just now, right? With no engine mounting bolts, just the 2 in the front. We'll just tighten down the nuts on those and just hold it in position, you know. Is that okay with everyone, or is that just silly? I don't know. It's probably silly, isn't it? We could put some kind of rubber underneath it, couldn't we?